left-hand side. Sweeps it inside from Maris, looking to turn inside the centre circle. Does well to spread it across to the advancing Elliot Hewitt. Forward to the feet of Lapsley, who scored twice on Saturday and won goal of the round on an online poll earlier this week. Finds Stirk, first time ball out wide left to McLaughlin. Heavy control, but keeps it under control and goes back to Stirk. Mansfield build again, and Penn Carlisle in the Carlisle half. Maris driving forward centrally now, has got options wide right if he can find him. Brilliant. And he's found Harry Charsley here to right of the box. Can Charsley get a ball in? Pulls it back to Hewitt. First time
he's in here. He's in.
McLaughlin! It's in there! On 5 minutes, Stephen McLaughlin heads in a beautiful header. Mansfield Town 1, Carlisle United 0. We saw a fantastic team goal on Saturday at Doncaster Rovers, and Lee Wilson, as the clock strikes 6 minutes, we've just seen one more.
Absolutely fantastic play. They must have kept the ball for 20 passes before. Great ball from Morris out wide.
That was the story of Tuesday night as number 3, Stephen McLaughlin, put 3 points on the board for Mansfield Town. But can the Stags continue their epic winning run as they take on Salford City at the One Call Stadium on Saturday afternoon? Tonight, myself, Nathan Edge and Sir Alan Wilson will look back on Tuesday's game, and look ahead to Saturday's game and talk all about the importance of the power of 3. 3 points and the number 3, Steve McLaughlin, and lots of other stuff mixed in between here on the show for the fans, by the fans. This is the Mansfield Matters podcast. If you're watching the live feed, get involved now and have your say on your team. Months ago, it was a very weird feeling because we couldn't seemingly buy a win for anything. And yet, the Stags are on absolute fire. 1 defeat in their last, 8 games with 7 wins. It's an absolutely incredible feeling as we head towards Christmas. It feels like Santa has already been. But we want him to keep coming again and again and again, and for Mansfield Town to climb that League 2 table. Joining me to look back on Tuesday night's victory over Carlisle United, we've got the regular Mr. Nathan Edge. Good evening.
Good evening, Craig. Good evening, everyone.
And the super sub, Sir Alan Wilson, who I'm sure took great delight in saying, goal scorer for the Stags, Mansfield Town's number 3, Stephen McLaughlin.
You're right there, Craig. I certainly did. Good evening, everybody.
Fantastic stuff. Great to have you along with us as always. Get involved in the chat and have your say on your team. Mr. Wilson, we'll start with you because it's been a few weeks or so since we last had you on when all 5 of us were here. No Clive tonight. He's playing the part of the elf, and Mr. Felton is playing the part of a sheep, but we won't talk about that. Alan, we are on such a great run at the moment, and I think out of all the games we've played recently, Tuesday night's result was the most hard-fought yet most thoroughly deserved of them all so far.
Yeah, it was a very good win, Craig, for two reasons particularly. One, because we got the early goal yet again, and we always seem to do well when we score an early goal. And the second one was the battling performance, because we didn't play particularly well in the second half, although fair credit to them, they put us under the cosh. But we ground it out. And I thought Elliot Hewitt deserved a mention with O'Toole on Tuesday night. I thought them two were immense.
Yeah, and again, that comes from moving into the back 3. I again called it wrong in the pre-match when I read the teams out, because the lineups again suggested we'd go with a back 4, but Clough stuck with that back 3, Nathan. Do you know what? It seems to be working for us now, and we are really finding that groove. And like Alan says, Elliot Hewitt, John Joe O'Toole in particular, absolutely fantastic. And it was only a couple of months ago where some fans, maybe us included at some points, were offering to drive Elliot Hewitt back to Grimsby. Well, thank goodness we didn't. Thank goodness we broke down.
Absolutely. I think it goes to show, doesn't it? Sometimes as fans, we can be very judgmental and probably judge players and managers over too short of a period. So, Nigel Clough probably proved a few people and shushed a few crickets. I can't talk today.
Are you all right?
I've got a cold, so my words aren't coming out right. Shushed a few critics. There we go.
Nathan, sorry.
Shocking, that's shocking.
Cheers. I knew that was coming at some point. So Nigel Clough's done that, and I think Hewitt's done the same. So you got to give them credit where credit's due. Hopefully, Richard Narty with the next one to do the same. You know, he's one that's been criticised a little bit in the short amount of time, so he might prove to be good going forward. Nice to see him back on the bench. Elliot Hewitt in particular, it's been happening for weeks, hasn't it, really? I think since that initial first couple of games, he's sort of consistently got better and better. And we've said now, if even when Gordon's available, you can't see him being moved out of that position unless they're both on the pitch.
Yeah, it's very much that thing of settling into a club, finding your groove, finding your rhythm. And you've got to remember as well, I think, you know, at the start, Hewitt was playing in different positions every week, and that just makes it harder. And you mentioned Kel Gordon there, Nathan. Alan, you know what? If he can get himself fit and available, Jesus Christ, can you imagine our right-hand side? Because right wing-back, the way we're playing at the minute, the way we're setting up, that suits Kellen Gordon to an absolute T.
Well, it'll be a perfect foil for the other side as well, won't it? McLaughlin and Quinn, because they're awesome together. And I'll put Barry on the end of that as well when he plays the left-hand side. Because, like I say, Kellen Gordon, we've said that before. I'd like to see him have a go at defenders and that. It might just be the chance to do it when he's fit and ready.
As always, get your comments in and have your say on your team. Rogers kicked us off tonight and says there was some sloppy play. I'm at it now. Some sloppy play at times, giving the ball away. Stags need better players back. Stags need players back soon. Oates, Hawkins, and Johnson. Saturday will be a sturdier test. If players come back, it's a definite win. Of course, yeah, that's something we've not taken into account. You know, we still have players missing. We had loads of defenders missing ages ago when we were struggling. We've got more of them back now than we can count. But we are missing strikers a little bit. And to be honest, Alan, when I saw the lineup on Tuesday night, I was a little bit worried because Ollie Hawkins suspended, Danny Johnson still injured. He's probably about another couple of weeks away. Nigel Clough told me after the Doncaster game that he might be back available for Forest Green, but he won't have had match minutes. And Rhys Oates injured as well, which just left Jordan Bowery. And whilst he's an excellent player, he's decent everywhere but up front, and that's without. That's not being harsh. That's just he just doesn't have the pace and the ability to close down as much as what Rhys Oates does, and we did miss him. I did fear that we would miss that a little bit on Tuesday.
I was the same, Craig. But when you look at the battling midfielders we've got, and I do like Maris moving up into that position. You know, that position further forward, just behind, whether it's him or Lapsley, you know, whichever one plays that position. But we've got the midfielders that just don't seem to bother. They don't worry, do they? They're just passing the ball. And it is at times. It's just, I know it's to coin a phrase, but it's like watching Brazil when they start passing ball, and that is just great to watch.
It is incredible to watch at times, and the proof was in the pudding, Nathan. This is what will, I imagine. You know, we joke and have tongue-in-cheek about you not being able to see the game and things like that. And I imagine goals like that where we pass the ball, 17, 18 passes, that's when you're most frustrated because you're just willing it to go back into the back of the net.
I think it's same as anybody, really. But, I mean, if we talk about, on Tuesday, the first 6 minutes, I thought we was literally picking up from where we left off against Doncaster with that. We scored that incredible third goal there, which has been shared everywhere. We've had pundits on the FA Cup highlight show saying that won't go amiss in the new camp. We've had all sorts of praise for that, and I thought we were going to continue that like that. And then we go and it wasn't as such as a sexy goal on Tuesday night, but as mentioned in the commentary, there was such a great build up to it. A good minute of possession, lots of different players getting the ball, passing it around, moving. And finally finished off with a great delivery and a header from the only one Macca. So
Here we go.
it was. I'm sad Cam isn't here to have this argument, but no, it was one of them moves where you just thought, we're going to continue in the same vein. But I also agree with what I think it was Roger in the comments said, that unfortunately after that we did become incredibly sloppy, and it was almost as if we thought, you know what, this is easy now. We can continue playing this sort of game, and we don't have to really focus as much. And I think we went down a couple of gears. We started being sloppy, which then gave Carlisle a lot of confidence and a lot of sort of hope. And it unfortunately was something we didn't really recover for the rest of the game. So there's a big sort of downer there in the sense of performance, but that was completely wiped out by the virtue that we came away with 3 points. And you say a couple of months ago that would not have happened. We would have lost that, or bare minimum drew it, and we were lucky, but at least we got the 3 points, and that's the difference between our sort of character and team at the moment.
The important thing, Alan, was the fact that we started so well, and Nigel Clough would have made that clear to them, because after such an energetic and a game in the conditions that were played at Doncaster, where there was rain, wind, energy from the fans, that does take a lot out of you, and then to go again quickly in the league is always difficult. So the fact we started so quickly and got that early goal would have been exactly what Nigel Clough asked for.
Yeah, it'd have been looking for that. Like I said before, in the when you've been doing the commentary and whatever, been listening, whenever Stags start well and score a goal early, within the first 10 minutes or so, they just generally play a lot better. But I did notice one thing that caught my eye on Tuesday night in the second half, especially probably 60 minutes onwards, when Bishop was kicking the ball. It wasn't getting as far, so the wind must have been quite stronger than what it was in the first half, if you like, and that might have played into their hands a little bit.
Yeah, there was certainly a couple of occasions. I remember when we had goal kicks, he was trying to put the ball on the edge of the 6-yard line, and it just kept blowing backwards, and that just showed you how heavy it was. And I remember sort of Nigel Clough sort of saying to us, off air, if you like, on Tuesday night before the post match, that it was so difficult out there. We did struggle, and it doesn't always go your way. But again, I think that's testament to our defensive performance. We'll touch upon that more in a second, but let's go to a few more of your guys' comments. Keep them coming in. Definitely want to hear them tonight. Have your say on your team. We'll talk 0-2.
I'm contagious even over virtually.
Where are you, Drew?
No.
Thank God you're here, Alan.
Do you know what? What I'm going to blame it on is now that I'm having to do more broadcast talking. So that's my excuse.
I think that's the worst excuse ever. I mean, that should be improving your language skills, but whatever.
Yeah, moving on. Roger says it was a battling performance, especially last 10 minutes, and we was lucky, but it's a win. Yeah, absolutely. Gary says we've seen so many games where we've played well, but not got the deserved win. I will gladly take a win when we haven't played well. Sometimes it's the battling that counts and gets you a win. Also, I believe you do need luck, as we are certainly getting good luck now instead of bad luck. Yeah, they hit the crossbar a couple of times, had one deflected off the line off their own player, that sort of thing as well. Richard says we missed Oates' physical presence and work rate, absolutely. Roger says Harry Charsley had a great chance to go 2 up first half, and McLaughlin put in a great cross in which nobody got to. Very difficult conditions to play in, though. Richard says Oates put so much into each game, chasing down. It's not surprising he's getting a couple of knocks. What has impressed me most, though, over the last few games is Nigel's formation changes, how he has a plan A, plan B, plan C. He's totally prepared to be fluid and less rigid with formations and giving players a bit more freedom, which they seem to be enjoying. That's a very good point, Alan. And do you know what? Whilst, Nigel Clough has been keen to tinker and has certainly do so, we've played 3 or 4 different formations at Doncaster, and sort of, especially when we're under the cosh, sort of sit back in our banks of 4 and everything. One thing for me is now got the personnel to be able to do it. And a lot of that comes through John Joe O'Toole, who we mentioned at the top of the show alongside Hewitt. He's been absolutely phenomenal since he's come in.
Yes, I'd agree with that. And also with the gentleman saying about the A, B and C plans, Nigel, I don't think he has a problem now because the players are confident in whatever they're doing. It's because of the winning streak. I think if we'd have been struggling like we were before, that's probably why he stayed a little bit rigid and he didn't try things tinkering. Like you said, we've got players off on the sidelines, we've got suspensions, but as players come back and that, players are getting confident, plus the fact while they've got the shirt on the bank, they're not going to want to lose it. So I know they'll put 100% in anyway, but they might be just giving that 10% extra to keep the shirt.
Richard adds, also Garner conducting the crowd in injury time, and the fans' reaction made me proud of support, because some weeks it's been tough. Yeah, you obviously get a good view of the dugouts, Alan, from your position in your little PA box, which should be called the Sir Alan Wilson Suite, by the way. But should be renamed after you. 30 years, it's a long time.
Yeah.
I know. But, how important is that? Because obviously, we had the dugouts moved years ago now. It seems an eternity ago when Steve Evans moved them across, and it got an instant reaction. When David Flitcroft were there and carried that on, it continued. It dropped a little bit with Dempster, but when you're playing well and you've got the home support behind you, and you've got the management and the coaching staff really sort of riling them up, that makes a key difference, not just for us as supporters, but also psychologically on the visiting team.
Well, I had a word with Andy Garner on Saturday before the game when I was getting all my script and everything from Steve-O. And I said to him, I like the dancing and singing, by the way, Andy, from Saturday at Doncaster. He says, no, I think I should be on Strictly.
Oh, dear. Could you
imagine?
imagine?
That would be good. But yes, it is good to see them getting involved. I must admit, I do like that.
It does feel now, Nath, that after so long, we are starting to get that Clough feeling and starting to feel like we're back again, which is sort of ironic given what's happened in the news this week. But, it's taken such a long time, because whilst he was manager last season, obviously we as fans couldn't go. Then it started this season. We had the good couple of results early doors, which was sort of sowing the seed. Then the bad run hits, which makes it difficult for fans to sort of engage with it. But now we're seeing that passion. We were very critical during that period when, they weren't appreciating the fans, and it was sort of being sort of written off. But now it's starting to come together. All the players seem passionate. All the fans seem passionate. It feels like we're all coming together as one now, which is long, long overdue. And that's having an impact too.
Yeah, I think, you talk about that sort of rough patch there. I think there was frustration from us as supporters, but I think it was probably also, I'm pretty certain it would have also been there for Clough and the staff and the team as well. So, it probably came across a little bit worse than what it maybe was, if that makes sense. I know it was a lot of the frustration was after that Northampton game, was it, where there wasn't much appreciation shown towards the fans when it was a good travel in. But again, the same breath, I remember saying afterwards that that the fans were giving the manager some sticks. So you kind of in some ways understand why he might not go over after that sort of game. So frustrations were high, but like you say, all that seems to have changed, and it's with the performances improving, players coming back, and obviously results improving, incredibly. It's not just the fact that we've only lost one in the last 8. It's also the fact that we've won 7. There's no draws in there. It's there's a lot of wins there, which has really sort of got us away from the danger zone, which has given the fans a bit more comfort, and we're not as panicky as we once were, and it'll be the same for the players. And like Alan said earlier, confidence in the squad then enables the players and the managers to try different things to get more, get better results and get better performances. So we all seem to be coming together as a club, which is fantastic to see. And I just want to add as well, I don't think that a cup run can be underestimated of what that can do to that sort of togetherness between both fans and the team cohesion.
Yeah, what do you make of that draw, Alan? Because because Nathan's right. A cup run is great, not just for team cohesion and team bonding, but also financially rewarding as well. And winning breeds confidence, regardless of whether it's the FA Cup, Pizza Slice Trophy, League Two, or a friendly on a Tuesday night against Rainworth Miners Welfare.
I'd agree wholeheartedly with what Nathan said. It can only be a good thing. And I think it's a decent draw because it's certainly a winnable game. They're about 9th, I think, in the Championship. So they're not bad, but they're not pulling too many trees up. And it's on the day. If we play to our potential, I don't think they hold any fears at all.
I think what was actually quite good about the draw, and I know we mentioned this a little bit on Monday when we did the reaction, but I'll just get your reaction, Alan, that it's it's not a high-profile tie. It's a good draw against a good opposition, but it's not one of those which goes, oh, bloody hell, Mansfield have got Man United, Mansfield have got Man City at home. It's or a Liverpool like it was back in 2013. It's the sort of tie which goes under the radar. And for Mansfield having that game on the Tuesday night, that's great, because my fear was we draw somebody like Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal or whoever, and that's all we'd be talking about. That's all the focus would be. But there's such a long time between now and then that the focus had to be back on League Two, and that's what that draw did for us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because like we said before, Middlesbrough are a decent side. They'll bring a decent following, but it's not nothing we should worry about. And let's get through this one. Let's get some more coffers in the pot for Mr. Radford, and then let's get on to the fourth, because obviously there'll be half as many teams in again, and the chance of a bigger team then is, it should be acceptable. I don't fear them at all.
Yeah, and for me, a good cup run actually isn't round 3. A good cup run's actually if you can get to round 4 or beyond, because a League Two side actually of our calibre should actually be expected to get to round 3, because
you should be winning it.
Yeah, FA Cup. Yeah, all right. Oh dear,
that worries me tremendously.
Oh dear. Anyway, let's move back to Carlisle. We'll get some reaction from Nigel Clough and George Lapsley in a minute after this comment from Callum, who says, "Evening, guys. Don't they say a sign of a good team is playing badly but still winning? A battling performance, nevertheless. We set the standard now. Let's stick to it. We've still got Oates, Johnson, and Hawkins to come back." Only up from here. Yeah, of course, those 3 to come back up top. Plus, we've got a couple more to come back in at the back as well. Kel Gordon, like we mentioned earlier, Nath. Also, Richard Narty was back on the bench on Tuesday night as well. He's there. It'll be interesting to see what the situation is with Will Forrester as well. So yeah, we've got players to come back and to bolster that squad even further, which just gives Cloughs more options to tinker and to play and to push forward.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know if you got any news on Will Forrester. Obviously, probably too soon after the match anyway. It did seem a bit, quite upset with the injury, didn't he? So as if he sort of knew what it was straight away, which is always a bit of concern sometimes.
Well, Nigel Clough said that when he went into the dressing room, when he came off, Forrester said that he thought he'd heard his ankle click, but then between then and going into the dressing room, he's starting to doubt himself because it doesn't feel like he heard it click. So it'll be one which is assessed.
Yeah.
And
that was a concern. The player reaction, when you see them sort of react in that sort of way. I don't know how visible it was. I'm going for the audio descriptive commentary, which obviously I listened to when I'm attending the matches at home. And they were given quite a bit of detail on that, which I appreciate actually. But they said he did seem a bit quite concerned with it. But hopefully, if that's the case, and upon assessment, it's not as bad as it first looks. Because again, a player that's just started hitting a bit of football, just got back in from injury, and had a great game at Doncaster. So fingers crossed for him. But yeah, I mean, going on to the whole. The general thing, obviously, moving on to Saturday, Hawkins will be back, but the likes of Cal Gordon to come back as well. I think when we do have an off day like we did on Tuesday night, having those additional players in there like G. Gordon's, Oates, I think it's going to make that less likely to happen. And if it does, you've got more on the bench to also change it as well. So that was a bit of a concern again with Tuesday night, is that you looked at the bench and there wasn't a great deal there. No disrespect to the Tyrese and your Gales and so on, but it wasn't like a couple of weeks ago, did it? When you could look at the bench and you had Harry Charlesley and Lapsley on there and Oates and so on. So Danny Johnson, there's a lot of players still missing, and I do think.
Do you know what? Do you know? Sorry to cut in, but do you know one we've completely forgotten, not even mentioned on that list?
Well,
Ollie Clark. No, Ollie Clark.
Oh, sorry, he's still dropping from that cliff. Obviously another player who I think was missed on Tuesday night.
That's shocking.
he was missed. I've said it. He was missed on Tuesday night. But I'm just going to quickly say, I mean, I don't want to be too negative about Tuesday night, because we obviously the bottom line is we got the win, but I do feel against a better side we may have been punished a bit more. Carlisle are struggling to score goals. They've struggled to score in more than
the top
half of their
scorer
games.
was on 3, so that's that's a lot.
55% of their matches they haven't scored in yet. So and they were unlucky on Tuesday. Like I said, we were quite fortunate. But another team, we could have been punished a bit more. But end of the day, that's who we was against on the night. And I just think with with more players to choose from, it wouldn't be as. I don't think it would have made us such hard work of it.
Right, that's enough from us three for now. Let's get some more reaction from the Stags camp after that 1-0 victory over Carlisle on Tuesday night. Keep your comments coming in, because after this we're going to talk about John Joe O'Toole and Will Forrester, two players whose deals are up in January, but two players who are certainly impacting us on us at the moment as we enjoy a very good run. First though, let's head pitch side to get some reaction from George Lapsley, and first, Nigel Clough speaking to me for Mansfield 103.2.
3 points on the board tonight, but it was one of those games, wasn't it, where sometimes it doesn't matter how you win as long as you do.
That was the most important thing tonight. I think the effort and everything, the emotion that went into Saturday's win, pretty much the same lads back out there again tonight. You saw a lot of tired legs. I think physically and mentally, because it takes out, big cup games do take it out of you mentally as well. I thought we started for 30 minutes, played as well as we have done, scored a very, very good team goal again, and we needed that second goal and we couldn't quite got it, and then 10 minutes before half time I thought they got back into it, and then we're probably in the ascendancy after that.
Yeah, you mentioned that team goal there again, similar to Doncaster on Saturday. Excellent football once again, and Steve McLaughlin must have had a nosebleed up there.
Yeah, well, he was playing, so we started with the three centre halves and encouraging him to get forward. He's very good heading wise, so he's ended up at the far post and headed it in, and it's won us the game. But I think the effort, despite us giving the ball away, I think that was down to fatigue as much as anything. Gave it away too cheaply at times, but he can't sort of fault the effort of hanging on in there and protecting that 1 goal lead.
No, Rhys Oates or Ollie Clark tonight. Just give us a quick update on the two if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, Rhys Oates got a dead leg on Saturday at Doncaster, which is why he came off, and Ollie Clark felt his calf late on in the game, which is why he came off. And I think with Ollie Clark's history with his calf last season, we've got to be careful with it. So I think they'll both be doubtful for Saturday. Should have Ollie Hawkins back. He's been ill and also suspended tonight, but he'll be back in the squad.
And when you miss a leader, you need others to step up. A couple did tonight. Stephen Quinn took the armband, but also in the middle of that back three, John Joe O'Toole was immense.
I thought he was tonight. I thought he headed it, cleared it, and was as responsible as anybody for keeping the clean sheet. And also meaning that Nathan Bishop, for all their play, didn't have too much to do tonight. And I think as he gets a little bit fitter as each game, because he didn't play for a few months, I think he's looking more commanding, and I think he's in the air tonight. Hardly saw him lose a header.
Final word on tonight before we move our attention to the weekend, of course. Sometimes, like on Saturday, you need the 12th man, and boy, were they there again tonight.
We needed it more than ever. You don't need it in Doncaster FA Cup with 3-1 up away from home, even at 3-2. We needed it tonight when we're hanging on for our lives at 1-0. And honestly, we're urging the lads on from the sidelines. They're shattered, and then they hear a little bit from the few thousand crowd, and it really just lifts you. You saw Harry Charsley getting a tackle in, late on, George Lapsley. It's when they hear that encouragement and the roar from the crowd, it just gives them that extra yard.
Laps 3 points on the board tonight, and it doesn't matter how you win them as long as you do.
Yeah, good 3 points. Obviously showed how we can get on the ball a bit more in the first half hour on the ball, dictating it a bit, but second half was just about digging in and making sure we didn't make any mistakes to get them 3 points.
Talk us through that opening goal, because yet again from Mansfield, fluid football right across that midfield.
Yeah, it was due to playing at the minute, to be fair. Everyone wants it and we're just getting on it and passing it, and I think we did that for like about half hour in the game, and then they obviously switched to the diamond, which gave us a few problems, but yeah, we're all right. We'll look at it and hopefully get back on it on Saturday.
You mentioned that Carlisle switch formation there. That's something which you guys have done lately as well, going with the three at the back. How are you finding that adaptation? Because it's giving you a little bit more licence as well.
Yeah, no, I think with the formations, it is what it is, isn't it? Sometimes I don't think you can pin a performance down to a formation, because it's just the fundamentals of the game. You've got to run hard and you've got to get on the ball, you've got to want the ball, you've got to tackle. So yeah, I can't really say the formations affected me much in the game, to be fair.
The pendulum is really swinging this season as well. We had a rough run of results, but lately it's been absolutely on fire, and that's coincided with some key bodies coming back. How important has that been, not on the pitch, but off the pitch as a group?
Yeah, I think we've always believed in ourselves, even when we was going through that sticky patch. So with the boys coming back, obviously the better players you have out there, the more chance you've got of winning games. So we've got a good squad, and even the boys that have been playing have been doing well. So yeah, if everyone's coming back fit now, hopefully we should be in a good place coming into Christmas.
First time we've got to chat to you since that FA Cup brace as well. Could you have had a hat-trick with that one? Were you onside in the first half?
I was onside. I don't know, when Quinny flicked it, he was 50-50, I don't know. But yeah, I probably could have had a hat-trick elsewhere because Maris flashed it across the goal once and I could have got a goal there, so not all.
And an online poll as well has voted it goal of the round.
Yeah, I see that, to be fair. I'd imagine the Mansfield fans got behind me, so thank you for that.
Well, we're up against your Chesterfield goal, so we had to back it, didn't we?
I saw that. It was 39% and then 38% for the Chesterfield goal, weren't it? So yeah, I'm thankful for that. Thank you.
Very much deserved, though, as well. So, and as well, you know, we talk about the fans there. They were immense tonight as well, as they were on Saturday. Does that help having that 12th man there, especially when you sort of backs are against the wall like they were tonight?
Yeah, massively. I think, especially tonight, I can highlight a moment. It was like 85th minute, our backs are to the wall and they're with us, they're screaming yellows, and you just think, come on, like, we've got 5 minutes, get through this. And then the 5-minute ball goes up and you're like, oh, we've got another 5 minutes, but they're there backing us, and yeah, we're thankful for them. So hopefully we can keep bringing these results for them.
George Lapsley and Nigel Clough speaking to me after the game for Mansfield 103.2, giving their reaction to that win on Tuesday night. And a little bit more from George Lapsley as well about his exploits in the FA Cup on Saturday. And, you know, it was a thoroughly deserved vote, Alan, to give George Lapsley goal of the round, and made even more sweeter by the fact it was the 1% over our friends from down the road. And I can tell you that when I said that to him, and when we were talking about that, he had a massive grin on his face. So maybe Sir George Lapsley is on the cards.
When I voted, I must admit the Chesterfield guy was in front of George. George was lagging behind a fair bit. I would probably say as much as 10% when I voted. But then when I looked on later on again, it had, it was neck and neck. So I really chuffed a bit because it was worthy of the award, because it was a cracking goal.
Alan Wilson leading the revolution as always. Nate, let's talk about O'Toole and Forrester. Obviously, both are out of not necessarily out of contract, but both contracts and deals are up with the Stags in January. John Joe O'Toole signed on a short-term deal as a free agent, whilst Forrester's loan spell is up. He's been plagued with injury, but he's been in the side of late, and let's hope that the injury picked up on Tuesday night isn't too much of a bad one, because he started to slot in well, hasn't he, young Forrester?
Yeah. Sort of.
Go on, sorry, Nathan.
I mean, I've already touched on Forrester earlier, so I'll probably let you take that one, Alan. But I just your other point about John Joe O'Toole, Craig. For me, right now, if I was David Sharp or the Radfords or whoever, I don't care who needs to ride it up, but get a contract on that table offered for him. And for me, I'll be making it an 18-month deal. Get him. It won't be the case. I think if we do, it'll be to the end of the season, and I hope we at least do that. But for me right now, I know he's 35 or something like that, but that to me, it doesn't seem to make much of an impact at all, especially for the type of player he is anyway. But I just think at the moment, I think get him in the club, get him signed and get him kept, because I think we'd miss him now big time.
I genuinely can't see, Alan, why he didn't have a club for 6 months, because he's incredible. He can play anywhere, centre mid, centre half, full back, obviously in the number 10 role as well, like he used to for Northampton. He's such a good player.
It's proved it, hasn't it? And it's like this, we said, I think it was 2 weeks ago when I was on the Steve Needs chat, really wanted to keep him, didn't he? He told Nigel that they just hadn't got the money or whatever, and then obviously it didn't happen. But it's only been a bonus for us. It's like Nigel said Tuesday, he did mention that it's like he's took the perch role, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Which is, he's done really well. Fair play to him. When he first came, I must admit, I was a bit sceptical. His age, I've seen him in the past. He's had good games, but it was his card demeanour that I didn't like. I know he puts the tackles in, but to be fair to him, I think he's only got booked once, hasn't he? And he's played superb.
Yeah, we said this on Tuesday night as well in commentary, myself and Lee Wilson. We were talking about how sometimes I can't remember what word I used. It wasn't a word that I'm going to use now because I can't use that on live radio.
Salubrious.
But no, it wasn't salubrious. Every team needs a bastard, and that's what he is in the nicest possible way. Is that sort of player that gets under people's skin, supporters and players alike, but also he's got nous, and that's what you need. And we saw it on Tuesday. You know, late on, they just hit the bar. They were really on top. He wasn't injured. He just went down.
Yeah.
But going down and killing 30, 40, 50 seconds of a game, that just allows their breathing to calm, and it stops them from getting that adrenaline kick. It kills it dead. And I think had he not done that, I think they might have gone on and nicked it. But by killing the game for 40 seconds, Alan, it's just that little bit of experience, that little bit of tactical nous which gets us through. And like you say, it's that sort of thing which James Perch would have done.
Yeah, it's like we said before. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. He's proved that, hasn't he? So, I mean, it can only be good for him if he just keeps playing the way he is. Because I mean, I know Ferend Rawson was ill.
Dog likes him.
Yeah, Libby loves him. If all the centre backs are there, I can only see O'Toole being the first one on the sheet. And then, you pick anyone from, with Hewitt at the side of him. And then it's anyone from, either Forrester or Rawson or Narty maybe when he comes in. Them two are the mainstays at the moment, I think. And it's proved it with the results.
And it's been built, Nathan Edge, around John Joe O'Toole. He's the centre pin of that back three at the moment, either with Hewitt or Rawson to the right of him, then Forrester to the left. It was interesting that O'Toole himself went to the left of the three when Forrester went off. But obviously with Narty back in there as well, it does that. And, like Rogers just said in the comments, it also allows Hawkins to go back up front and just give us another outlet.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. I think Hawkins going back up there, obviously. We did well without him on Saturday. Obviously, when he was out with illness, but obviously we knew he was going to be missing tonight due to the suspension. But I think obviously we didn't know he was going to be without Oates tonight, and I think we missed him. And I don't mean that again in any disrespect necessarily to Barry, but I think Hawkins would have offered us something a little bit different up there. So we missed him, and I just think now at the moment, looking at that defence, even if Forrester is out for a little bit, we've still got Rawson. And a few months ago, you'd have said he was our number one, first name on the team sheet for defence, wasn't it? So, with him surprisingly sort of still on the bench, he's still there to come back into the team. I think we've got a relatively stable back two or back three or back four, whatever you want to call it. Which is great. It's just now we've seemed to got an issue on the opposite end of the pitch now up top, but we've managed to get through that at the moment. We're still getting goals from midfielders, and if we have to go and win a game 1-0 and be scrappy, then so be it. But that won't always be the case because these players will be coming back soon.
How imperative, Alan, is getting John Joe O'Toole signed? Will Forrester, that one's by the by because we can get that loan extended. We can sort of look into that. But O'Toole being a free agent, being out of contract, having played these games, got his fitness back up. He didn't really lose it anyway. But having got those games and impressed in those games, there will be other teams out there sniffing around for him. So how important is it that we get a contract signed, whether it's 18 months or more sensibly for me till the end of the season?
I think it's a no-brainer, Craig, personally. Get him signed up till the end of the season. I think Nigel's... I mean, obviously, did he say he'd had him before at Burton?
He had him at Burton,
yeah. So obviously he knows what he's getting. And it was just his fitness that I think you're worried about, but he's proved himself that there's, it's like another Bishop, isn't he, in the middle of the park. Bishop was 36, but it could move like a 20-year-old. So... it might not be the quickest, but like we say, it's up here. And that's what it's like. Same with James Perch. He was the same, not the quickest, but he reads the game, Craig. And that's where his experience comes in. And it can only be a good thing. Get him signed up.
And when you add Quinn into the mix in terms of that experience, we have that leadership and that nous all across the pitch, which is, we missed it for the 6 games that Quinn was out, Nathan. He took the captain's armband on Tuesday night in the absence of Ollie Clark and Ollie Hawkins and, led us superbly as we knew he would. And his footballing ability for this level is just incredible. He could still be cutting it at League One easy.
Oh, what a man! What a man! I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Whenever it gets to sort of the summer, I remember when Graham Coughlin came in, and I think when David Sharp first arrived as well, it looked like, well, we were. I mean, they were quite open about it. We was cutting the average age of the squad, weren't we? We was trying to get it lower, trying to get some sort of prospects in the team that will possibly go on into the future and make money and things like that and sell on, which isn't a bad thing. But I think it does go to show actually you do need some of those experienced players in your team as well, because they're the outstanding players at the moment. Quinn, like you just said there, has been absolutely superb, and we realised how much we missed him for those 6 games. Neil Bishop was the same in his first season with us as well. Again, a lot of people didn't expect that. I think James Perch would have been as well if he was here. I think we know we've missed him for a lot of games, but you're seeing it now from the likes of John Joe O'Toole as well. So those type of players, not one experience, but they've clearly still got it ability-wise as well. So you do need them within your squad.
Roger says, I hope O'Toole stays in January. He's vital for continued success. Hewitt made some great interceptions Tuesday, and he's playing much better after settling in. And I think a lot of that actually also boils down to having O'Toole alongside him and talking him through the game and being able to bounce off that a little bit more as well. Richard says, trouble is when Faz and John Joe play together, you can't tell them apart. Yeah, tell me about it. Always quite fun in commentary, but there you go. Anyway, we will talk a little bit about Salford in a couple of minutes' time. But first, we've got one thing left to do, and that is to round off Tuesday night as we recap all of the action. Commentary comes from myself and Lee Wilson for Mansfield 103.2. Sit back and enjoy the tale of Tuesday night.
Looks like it will be Carlisle United, the visitors, who get us underway here at One Call Stadium. They will go from left to right, Mansfield Town right to left, kicking towards the north stand. Kick-off in just moments. Can Mansfield Town get a much-needed 3 points and continue this winning run? Carlisle United have got us underway here, and they sweep the ball across to this near side with the number 17, Corey Whelan, who tries the ball down the left-hand side, goes out of play, and it will be a Mansfield Town throw. Mansfield Town make 2 changes tonight, as we say. Ollie Clark and Reece Oates go out. Harry Charlesley and Jordan Barry, the 2 that have come in. And as we look at it at the moment, looks like Mansfield have sort of set up the 3 at the back. Just looking at the shape at the minute, Lee, looks like it's Elliot Hewitt, John Joe O'Toole and Will Forrester in the back 3, with Charlesley tonight playing as the right wing back, McLaughlin on the left.
It looks like me they push McLaughlin higher, so a lot of teams do this. They play like a 4 at the back, but they push it at the full back in.
McLaughlin gets the ball on the left hand side, sweeps it inside from Maris, looking to turn inside the centre circle, does well to spread it across to the advancing Elliot Hewitt, forward to the feet of Lapsley, who scored twice on Saturday and won goal of the round on an online poll earlier this week. Finds Stirk, first time ball out wide left to McLaughlin, heavy control but keeps it under control and goes back to Stirk. Mansfield build again, and Penn Carlisle in the Carlisle half. Maris driving forward centrally now, has got options wide right if he can find him. Brilliant. And he's found Harry Charlesley here to the right of the box. Can Charlesley get a ball in? Pulls it back to Hewitt, first time
he's in here, he's in.
Post McLaughlin, it's in there! On 5 minutes, in there. Stephen McLaughlin heads in a beautiful header. Mansfield Town 1, Carlisle United 0. We saw a fantastic team goal on Saturday at Doncaster Rovers, and Lee Wilson, as the clock strikes 6 minutes, we've just seen one more.
Absolutely fantastic play. They must have kept the ball for 20 passes before. Great ball from Morris out wide. I thought he was going to whip it in first time, but he decided to put it back. Great ball in the back stick, and then when we talked about the whip at the start of the game, there was Mackie getting in the back post. A fantastic team goal and a great start for us.
As Mansfield with the ball back, Charlesley,
he's in.
Back for Charlesley,
he's in.
Right to the box, Charlesley, good save by the keeper in Mansfield. That's a good deflection off the number 5, Rod McDonald, who did well to get across and stop George Maris getting a simple tap in. That was excellent countering football from Mansfield with the press there again, Keith.
It was, they won the press side in the last third, and Barry released. He just couldn't strike it properly, could he? And he parried it, and Barry's it's a good block in the end, but so close. Good play though, good play.
Left footed in, it comes again. Lapsley heads the ball up in towards the air. Bishop watches it over his bar. It's on the line, and Bishop has to revert to it and is there first to it. Mansfield had the hearts in the mouth for a minute.
Got away with that one, I mean, who was it? Charlesley at the back stick, you know, headed great at the back. God, crikey me, and then
If only that had been at the other end.
oh my God, then Bish tried to tip it over, but I think the wing got it a bit, and luckily it fell back down to him. But that just shows you when it's only 1-0, you know.
Goals change games.
They're still in the game.
Mansfield come again. Maris, 45 from goal, now 30 from goals. Tries to spray it wide for Hewitt. It was a good run from Hewitt, but a poor execution from Maris as fans shout behind him. Not good enough. Good tackle to win the ball back. Referee says it's a clean one.
It's a good tackle.
Hewitt finds Lapsley, 35 from goal. Drives forward. Lapsley, central now for Quinn. First time for Stirk. Needs to try and find McLaughlin wide left. He does. Good pass. McLaughlin sets himself. Inside it goes for Quinn. Back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin in the box. Can he pull it back up to face the goal? Bowen! Here's Hewitt. Bowie again. He flips around. And Carlisle United live to fight another day. They call forward. And that's a clumsy foul by Jordan Bowery.
Great play from Quinn and Macca there, linking up really well. 1-2, running behind Macca, great pull back, and it just ran beyond us, and Hewitt came in. You know, it just wanted that forward to us, but it was a great bit of play.
O'Toole heads it away, Lapsley on the edge of the stakes box. Bowery, now Stirk tries to play it out for McLaughlin. Mansfield needs to get bodies back forward again, but McLaughlin's under huge pressure, twisting and turning, and eventually gets the ball away, but again it's aimless, and Carlisle pump it back forward. They're in possession, 30 from the Mansfield goal. Lapsley does enough to get something on it. And now Jordan Bowery could counter here down the left hand side. Bowery coming forward down the left, Lapsley inside him. Bowery cuts inside on the edge of the box. It's Jordan Bowery, can he get a shot away? Tries to square it for Charlesley, and Carlisle clear the lines again. Bowery there, he's tried to be unselfish and play it across, but as he cuts in on the edge of the box, he's got space to have a go.
He's had too many touches. He's held on to the ball. He's done great. He's run in, he's attacked the box, and then he's done brilliant. Then he's had come back and had a touch. When he should have attacked the box, one touch, and just put it across.
Storm Barrow, which is starting to sweep across, starting to take a hold. Can Mansfield weather it, and can Mansfield weather the Carlisle storm? In comes a corner, free-header Bishop punches it away, and Quinn eventually manages to get the ball away, but that's a great alert save from Nathan Bishop.
Yeah, do you know what I thought it was? I actually thought it was the man that headed it off the line. I could be totally wrong, but I thought, but the way you can see when he's put it in, it's just swerving in. Hey, whoever stopped it, well done.
No, dangerous ball. I'm going to credit Nathan Bishop because it looked like he got an arm across to it, but it may well have been the Carlisle man. Either way, the Stags got away with it. Hang on again. Here's Carlisle on the Stags box. The 27's inside the Stags box. He goes down. Referee says no, and Rawson gets it clear upfield. Sinclair has space down the left-hand side. We've got to keep the ball here and not give the ball away. Sinclair turns, finds space. Sinclair still has it. Can he get a ball in towards the middle? Tries an audacious shot. Goes behind for a goal kick.
It's better.
We just need to, just keep it there. If we can hold it there, I wouldn't advise us holding it for 5 minutes there, but
maybe he could have gone back in. He had support from Quinn.
But what Mansfield have done really well tonight is hold the ball for long spells in possession. We just need to do that. Let the clock run down. Just let those sands of time run down. Carlisle on the edge of the Mansfield time box. Here's the shot. Mansfield cling on from the 27. Cannons off the ball. Ball still in play. Into the Stags box. Headed away again by, you guessed it, John Joe O'Toole. Here is
That's it. Get that blown. What a strike, by the way.
And I think it's a Stag man inside the box who's gone down for treatment, and that just alleviates the pressure. But what a strike.
That would have been some goal.
By Jordan Gibson, who rattles the bar of Nathan Bishop, and Mansfield Town, wow, they were a lick of paint away from dropping points there. Nigel Clough, Andy Garner screaming at their players to be alert.
This is it.
Lapsley forms a one-man wall. It'll be a left-foot delivery. Bishop stands inside his 6-yard box, arms in the air, marching his defenders. He's on his tiptoes. Referee's whistle. One hand in the air from the free kick taker, and it comes out.
No problem.
And Nathan Bishop climbs out of the air, holds the ball in his hands, bowls the ball out.
Come on, Tyrone!
And Tyree Sinclair is beating off the ball, but Bowery volleys the ball forward. We're into the final seconds. Here's Sinclair inside the final third. Referee looks at the watch. He wants that minute back where O'Toole went down. Rawson heads the ball away. Mansfield survive again, but it's good. There's the full-time whistle to the cheers of the Mansfield Town fans. That is a huge relief for Mansfield, who are clinging on, but also in terms of this season and the way Mansfield have been going of late, as you say, a huge result. Full-time, Mansfield Town 1, Carlisle United 0.
I'm almost, in a way, Alan, gutted that the Carlisle goal didn't go in, because the commentary line I was going to say was something along the lines of, if that was a biscuit, it would have been a custard cream, top level.
I'm going to say I was going to ask the question, Craig, because I took a radio with me into the box, set it up before the game, and you could hear 103.2 perfectly. And when it started during the game, all I could hear was, and that was it. So I had to switch it off. So I didn't know whether custard cream was mentioned or not.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe someone interfered with it, mate, and was trying to block me out in your ears. But were you listening? Were you listening on FM or were you listening on online?
I was listening on FM.
Oh, it should have worked then. I don't know.
I know.
Turn it off and on again, mate. It usually works. Anyway, make sure you join us again on Saturday for coverage as the Stags welcome Salford City to the One Call Stadium, and then full match commentary the following week as the Stags head for Forest Green Rovers, where if you want to travel with the Stag Supporters Association, you can do so. They've still got places remaining on their coach to the game. It's £15 for Amber members, £20 for Blue members, £25 for non-members. Further information, call 07967 689 597. That's 07967 689 597 to book your seat and to get further information. Departure time from the One Call Stadium is 10 a.m. Salford on Saturday, Nath, or as we call it, the Cam Felton Derby.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I mean, I wonder why he's hiding away tonight. Is it just so he don't get any more stick? Yeah, I mean, it'd be obviously a different test from Carlisle, but we're seeing how Salford played against those, the other side of M1, who shall not be named. They're nothing to fear. So we're again on a fantastic run. Is it a good few? I can't remember how many league games in a row we've sort of. Well, not 5 in a row, but it's 5 out of the last 6 league games, isn't it? We've won.
Yeah.
So we're in great. I think we're second in the league form table as well. So we can go into that game a lot of confidence. Obviously at home, Hawkins being back is a massive plus. Well, provided he's over his illness, but he should be. Be looking forward to it, and hopefully it'd be great to get another 3 points. And what are we, 5 points off the playoffs? We could close that gap to possibly 2. I mean, who would have thought that a couple of months ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, second in the form table over the last 6 games, third over the last 8 games, 2 defeats, 1 draw, and then, of course, the rest wins with, like Nathan said, 5 out of the last 6 league games all being victories. We're in good form, Alan, but Salford are a good side who will be feeling the pressure again because they're not where they want to be. And we know from Salford of the past that if they're not in and around the playoffs come Christmas time, the manager, regardless of how well he knows the board at Salford, could be looking for a new job come the new year. They panic.
I'm going to say it'll be squeaky bum time for the manager if they're not up there and about the playoffs, like you said. But I'm saying with Nathan, I've got the same opinion. There's nothing to fear.
No, not at all.
I've always said, if we concentrate on our game, everything else should drop into place. Because then, obviously, if they park the bus, we get a goal, they've got to come out and change their game. And that's only beneficial to Mansfield. Get that early goal, get the fans rocking, get the drum banging, and we'll be smiling.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we turn our attention to other games, namely podcast predictions, let's answer a few more comments in the chat. Jody says in the second half, the ref looked like he was playing for a draw. And Richard says also need to get Sturk signed. Yeah, absolutely. We need one of them. We need to get him sorted because I think he's a young talent who's certainly coming good of late. Keep your comments coming in. Time now, though, to focus on other games, namely Nathan Edge podcast predictions, where on Tuesday night it was Triple Point Tuesday. None of us predicted the correct scoreline, though, so we only picked up 3 points in the end. But three's better than 1.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, I'm a little bit gutted because I remember, I'm pretty sure, when we did our initial predictions.
Yeah.
I didn't put that score, but I'm sure I put Maka to score. And obviously, he then got injured on Saturday, so I took him out of the contention for Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then what does he go and do? He doesn't score. So that serves me right. After banging on at Roger about trying to change scores and all that, and then I go and do it, change my prediction myself, and it backfires. But yeah, triple points. How did anybody else get a
massive
win?
No, everybody else everybody who played only scored 3 points. So in reality, they only scored 1. However, from the Mansfield Matters news desk at 7:55, all games in December on the Mansfield Matters podcast predictions game will be awarded double points in a feature we're calling Double Point December. Here's the immediate reaction of Nathan Edge.
Love it. And I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, what's up for grabs though, Mr. Priest?
What do you mean? What's up for double points? I've just
Yeah.
They're closing the bloody title, man.
Yes, but you haven't mentioned the ultimate prize. This is what I'm hinting at.
What ultimate prize?
Well, if you're ever a bit thirsty or a bit cold.
Oh, that one. No, that one. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
No. Well, there's a reason I was saving that, but you've gone and spoiled it. But there you go.
Well.
Anyway, as Mr. Wilson, you are the guest on tonight's show. We will give you, as super sub, the first chance to predict Saturday's game. You know how it works by now.
I do.
Scoreline and goal scorers for Salford on Saturday. Go for it.
I fancy Mansfield Town 2, Salford City 0, and the scorers, Ollie Hawkins if he's fit, and George Lapsley.
Oh, George Lapsley to get a goal. Nathan.
Just pointing out, if he's fit, that doesn't mean you get a substitute. I know
Correct.
you're a superstar.
No, I'm just saying, if he's fit, he'll play, I assume, Nathan.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And he's also going to be one of my goal scorers, so I'm with you. So I'm going to go for 2-1 with goals from Oliver Hawkins and... Ooh, who do I go with? I think he's going to pop up with an header. Not John Joel Toole this time. Going to go with Hewitt 'cause he's on fire.
Oh, that's a good shout, and you beat me to it. I'm going to go for. I'm just debating whether we'll keep another clean sheet or not. No, Salford have got a goal in them. 3-1 win, and I'm going to go for Ollie Hawkins to score on his return. I'm also going to go for Elliot Hewitt because I think we're going to do the reverse of what we did on Saturday. I think we'll get a goal in exactly the same way, but from the opposite side. Quinwood to whip a ball in, Elliot Hewitt at the back stick to bicycle kick it in, and I think the third goal will be scored by. I'm going to back George Maris to get one. I think he's got one in his locker. He's due one, so I'm going to go with him. If you guys at home want to play along with podcast predictions, remember it's double point December, so every point you score will be doubled, and of course. You can get involved by clicking the link in the description. Time now, though, for another of our features. Yes, they keep on coming. Voiceover Craig of the past, it's over to you. Dance along. It's the season of goodwill, and here at Mansfield Matters HQ, we're going to be giving away a maximum of 12 mugs. Alright, less of a festive tie-in and more of me needing space in my car boot. Anyway, starting on Saturday, we'll be posting an anagram of a former player or manager on our social media pages, and all you have to do is work out who it is. We'll keep note of who's entered and put those names into a mug, and then draw out 12 people who will each win, yes, you guessed it, a mug! As ever, there's a few rules. You can enter all 12 days and give yourself 12 chances to win, but you can only enter each day once. The first answer you give on a post, we will take that one. You can enter in the following ways. You can comment on each daily post, however you do run the risk of giving others the correct answer, but hey ho, it's only a bit of fun. You can send us a direct message on that particular day with the correct answer, or keep note of all the anagrams and use the Google form link which we'll make live on day 12 to send us all of your answers. It couldn't be more simple, although I know that you, Nathan, Cam, Clive, and the rest of you guys will find a loophole that I've not thought of and try and exploit it. Enjoy and shammy stirrers from us all at Flame Sin Set Tram. That's Merry Christmas from us all at Mansfield Matters. Mugs. So there you go, up the mugs. There you go. That's why I didn't want to say mugs, Nate, because I knew it was coming. You see,
Yeah,
it was
that
all up
lined
here.
up, did you?
There you go.
Speaking of mugs, my brother is very unhappy right now. Just I've got to say it, 'cause he'll remind me on Saturday. So
No, I'm good. Right. On Saturday, I forgot to bring one on Tuesday because I was rushing from work. On Saturday is your job, Nathan. I'm putting this out in a live broadcast, the public domain, so I don't get the backlash. Saturday morning, before 12 noon, you need to send me a message saying bring a mug, and I will bring it to you at either before the game or at half time. So
I'll do my best.
remind me on Saturday.
No
Anyway.
promises.
Obviously, we are well into the 12 mugs of Mugsmas now. Firstly, Mr. Wilson, how are you finding it? Have you figured some of them out yet?
I figured some of them out, but when I was looking at the Doncaster one, I really struggled with that one.
Well, we're going to recap them all now for if anyone's missed them. They're all on our social medias. The first one was Echoing Gull on day one.
That's the one I struggled with.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
That's the one I've got.
Wow, okay.
Brain freeze, should I say.
There we go. Just look in the dugout. Number 2 is this one, Violent Pink King. Violent Pink King was day 2. Whilst on day 3, we had Bonniest Hutch. Bonniest Hutch. Day 4, Jar Frond Hod. Jar Frond Hod. And on day 5, we had Wait, Asks Strut. Wait, Asks Strut. Now, that was yesterday, and some of you have already been on to me today and said, Craig, where's day 6? It's here. Here it is. The first look at it. Mineral I Try is this one. Mineral I Try is day 6. We'll put it on our socials later. Nathan, have you got any ideas who this could be? Mineral I Try?
I need longer than 10 seconds. You should know that by now.
Not what I've heard, but anyway.
I knew I'd set him up for that one now, for God's sake.
Mr. Wilson, what about you? Have you got it?
Not at the moment.
Mineral I Try. Well, doesn't matter if you don't get it right now, because like I said in the voiceover, you've got all 12 days. We're going to put a Google Forms link at the end of the 12 days with all the anagrams on for you to enter, and we'll put names in the mug, and then we'll draw your name out of the mug and you'll win a mug. Nice and easy, nice and simple. Bit of a clue on this one. This person has been a guest on Mansfield Matters Stag Stories, and he's one of the few people to have not one but 2 episodes. So there you go. So that's a little bit of a clue for you. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to see all of these anagrams and have time to work them out, they are, of course, on our social media pages for you to have a little look at and to sort of take your time, write them down and get involved. Lots of you getting involved already and enjoying it so far. So we're glad you're doing that. So keep it up. Keep your comments coming in on those anagrams, on the posts. Send us a direct message. And also, it's also you can send them privately in that Google Forms link after day 12. Coal Miner Man says, look how things have changed listening to your show now. A few months ago, Mansfield Town is not for Christmas, it's for life. And Roger says, bonniest hunch I couldn't get. They're all on our social medias. Clue on that one for you, Roger. Conference winner. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's pretty much all we've got time for. Thanks very much for joining us again tonight. Mr. Wilson, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
No
Busy
problem.
few games coming up, of course. This is the last home game on Saturday before Christmas, so I've got one question to ask you, and it is, will you be wearing your Santa outfit?
No, I should be wearing my Santa hat.
Yes, that'll do. That will do, Nate. That's enough, innit? Just to get us in that festive mood.
Yes, I should be wearing my Santa hat.
It's my last game as well before I jet off to Spain. So
when are you jetting off and leaving us?
On a week on Friday. So yeah,
a week on Friday. So we're going to have to try and record the Mansfield Matters Christmas special before next Friday.
I probably should give you a bit of a warning, shouldn't I? I mean, to be fair,
this just shows how unorganised this show is.
Do I need to pack my microphone? I mean, I'm only. It's all virtual these days anyway. I can join.
That
from
is
Spain,
true.
so
That is true.
I'll be there. Don't worry. I
That's
can
true.
join sometimes. It's all good.
What's the time difference?
It's only an hour. We're all good.
And are you,
But-
Spain an hour in front or behind?
We're an hour in front, so I'll know the score before you.
No, it doesn't quite work like that, mate. don't want to ruin it for you, but it doesn't quite work like that. And do you know what?
I'll help you out with commentary. It's fine.
No,
I'll
do
take
you know what? You thinking that?
That worries me tremendously.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for. Thanks very much for joining us. Look out for Mr. Wilson in his Santa hat. And if you can't get to the game, make sure you join us on Mansfield 103.2 for coverage on that. Build-up starts at 1 o'clock. So if you can't make it, make sure you've got your radio on. Even if you go into the game, take a little radio set with you. Listen to the build-up on the way down because we will get you right in the mood for kickoff and hopefully the hunt for another 3 points. Stephen McLaughlin's goal then was the difference between the two sides on Tuesday night. Can the Stags go one better and make it a little bit more comfortable on Saturday afternoon as Salford City are the visitors to the One Call Stadium? We'll have more reaction, more comments and much more Stags-themed content between now and then. And we'll be with you after the game and on Sunday as well for the Sunday sermon and before Forest Green next weekend. For now, though, enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, get involved with the 12 Mugs of Mugsmas. Get involved with podcast predictions. All the details you need are in the description. Pack your Stag shirts, pack your Santa hats. And let's hope that it's an early Christmas present come Saturday afternoon as Mansfield Town and Nigel Clough looks to continue the winning run. This is the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield always matters. Good night. Hey, are you looking for a Christmas present? Are you looking for something to get a Mansfield Town loving partner, sibling, relative, or even just that thing which occasionally me, Nathan, Cam, Clive, Alan, Simon are? Friends? Then look no further than a Mansfield Matters mug. Get yours now at mtfcmatters.co.uk where the discount still applies. You can buy yours for £5 in December because we're feeling festive and generous. And unlike Nathan's brother Ricky, we will deliver it before Christmas. So make sure you get on there and support the podcast. Ho, ho, ho! It's Christmas and Craigie Claus and Muggy Claus is coming to town. Why? Because Mansfield matters and mugs matter too. Buy yours today at mtfcmatters.co.uk because everybody this Christmas needs a mug. Mugs.